everyone, it's Farket here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a floating island the easy way. Now the easy way is a lot less custom, but it is easy. This mechanic can be used for a lot of other different situations, which I probably will explore in my playthrough. So I'm going to show you how you can use this mechanic to build what you want. Keep in mind it's not actually floating, though it somewhat is, and I'll get to that. Now first, I find a spot between the mainland and islands. Set your ocean quality to flat. It makes it a lot easier when working with water. This build underwater is quite hard. And what I do is I get a custom foundation out. So I'm just going to place it just underneath the water, like just underneath. So maybe a foot above, something like that. What I do, I stretch it out, and I make sure it's about the same. I want to be able to place a rock wall there. And then I swim over to the other side. You're not building this custom foundation, it's just a guide. Once it's to the other side, do the same thing, about a rock wall's height. And then line it up, finish. The next part is to place a rock wall. Place it right on the corner. Try and be as accurate as you can. And then run it all the way over. Aim right for the pillar. And there we go. What you want to do is you want to make it about 2 or 3. It's really hard to see. I'm doing this in creative mode, so I'm not going to drown. Getting it to snap's the hardest part at a short distance. But if you've got a good eye for detail, you can see it snapping. See how it just snaps? That's what you want. And then you want to run it back over. Once you get to the other side, make sure it doesn't connect. You want it to be off to the side. So click and then complete. Complete that end. I'll go over and complete the other end shortly. Now, I was testing to see whether I could place a custom foundation here to bring up the level to the other corners. Unfortunately, it's been a pain because I can't actually locate the blueprint. And the issue is, if you're playing normally, you'll have a boat obviously doing a lot of this. Would you be able to reach it while holding the logs? So I don't want to cancel the custom foundation because I still need that. I'm gonna have to do it manually. And basically it's the same thing as before. Find the corner of where the blueprint is and get it as accurate as you can right on top. There we go. That platform wasn't a happy accident, by the way. Aim it right on the corner, come off to the side, do the same thing. Wait for that little happy snap. There, happy snaps. And then bring it over again. You can make it wider. It might be a good idea, as it will be a lot easier because it will snap easier at longer distances. And when you're underwater, it's a real pain. Get it to a line. And connect. Complete. I think this one's a bit wider because it's using a lot more rocks. So complete that end. Place another one and complete that. Now it's at the height I want it. I'm going to swim over and complete the other 2 ends. This one was only 4, so I got it probably wrong on the other end, but that's okay. And I'll complete this one. There we go. And what I do, because this end is going to work automatically, custom floor. Straight on. The reason being is because these rock walls at these ends are the exact same height. But this one won't work because they're at different heights. So I'm going to have to build one more. I should have done this while I was down here. Didn't think of that. But now it's the exact same height. Make sure you do this in an area where there's no sharks. I suggest checking out the forest map if you're not familiar with the shark locations. You can kill the shark, but I'm pretty sure it spawns back right away, so it's not exactly pleasant. And a shark will kill you in 2 hits. So get custom, press C, activate custom mode, get it right on the edge here, that's where you want it. And then run all the way down, do it this way, you want the logs going across, because it will look much cleaner when it's finished. It will also be much more flat, so you won't jump around on it. Connect it up, do 2, you want 2 placements. You want a big long rectangle. Almost like a straight line. As you can see, it's very easy to accidentally join up at that end. You don't want to do that. You want to try and push it over the side. Make sure it's... Keep your mouse still when you click. And we're done. Now, you probably won't be able to build it from the water's edge. You'll have to go in closer. So that's 29 logs. There we go. It's a bit hard to find the last piece. When building very long things like this, it tends to happen. Just move around, eventually you'll get it. Move away from the blueprint and move back to it. And then there's this one. For some reason I can access it from all the way over here. And it's done the same thing. So Move away from the blueprint until the X face goes away. And there we go. That's done. Now everything else can be cancelled. So it's a bit of a job to go in and cancel every single one to do it manually like this. But I'm using console commands to cancel it. Developer mode on in the main menu. And type in cancel all ghosts. And it's very loud, so turn down the volume. Now, if you noticed, I placed the rock walls at that end, at the end on the island. Reason being is I can do this. Bring out the hole cutter. I can start trimming. Remember, you only got 20 cuts on each floor before it maxes out. If you're using Ultimate Cheat Menu, you can use the mouse wheel to make the cuts a lot bigger. So I was going to do 2 cuts off the end to keep it away from the mainland, because that's where they spawn. I have heard of mutants spawning on islands and stuff, but I have a feeling that might be linked to mods. I'm not sure. Though, you don't really have to worry about the rock walls because only bigger mutants can kill them. Now this rock wall's holding it up. If I destroy that, the floor's gonna collapse. So I placed it on the island. Always finish on the island side when you're placing the custom floor, because that way those are the ones that hold it up. That's why I was able to destroy them. Now, however you want your island to be is completely up to you. Now, the reason I built it underneath is to add some realism to it. If you want a floating one, just build it above the water. That's up to you. Now, you could complete that, but I'm not going to, because it's under the water. This is what you should do if you're building above the water. But you don't want a floor underneath the water. It's a waste of time. So this is what I'm going to do instead. Place a rock wall, and on this side too. It's gone to this side, but I could just manually place it. My advice would be put it on the inside like this, actually, because then you could use this board to climb in and out of your base. So I'm going to do the same thing. It's just going to manually place it. I am improvising a lot here. These are a lot of new ideas I've just come up with. Generally always happens when I'm making a tutorial. What you could do is this. You could use a custom foundation to square it up so you get it exact. What I'm going to do is just do it without it and try and get it as exact as possible. And you're going for that long rectangle shape again. It's done. Complete it. You don't have to do this, by the way. This is just to make it look better. Same thing on this side. If you make the boards go the other way, it would probably be a lot more accurate, because this might give an off shape. Alright, that's done. I'll build that. Same thing. I'm going to build it on the inside. And the inside here too. I'm going to build all the inside ones. Placing automatic placements, you're going to get stuff like this. I would remove it because it looks crap. And replace it like that. And then I can clear all the other blueprints. Same thing, I'm just going to cancel all ghosts. And deafen myself while I do it. Now, I should have used a custom foundation to measure out to make sure these bits are good, because this might be off. But what I would do is a long, thin, to make the floors flat. So custom placement, just going to start placing it around. As you can see, it's starting to go on an angle, so it's not perfectly square. So you'd have offcuts. A way to get around that is to make them smaller. So like that. I wouldn't recommend making one this big. It starts becoming the cost of a custom foundation. It's really expensive. This is big though. There we go. It's a big platform. And it's floating. Semi-floating. Yeah, crap like this. Do a good measurement first. Now, it's up to you if you want to cut this off. See, what you can do, and this is the appeal of it, is cut it. But if you clip that, the whole thing's going to come down. So like that. See, one like this is going to be much more difficult, because if I clear it, it's going to take down the platform. I do it like that and just leave that like that. Easy enough. Though these could make good bridges to the islands. Maybe it's worth keeping them. There we go. And to clear up this so it's a lot further away from their base, from the mainland. So I've reached the max 20 cut limit on these floors here. So I can no longer cut. But there you go. And you can just build whatever you want on it. Build a castle, sea fort, oil rig, whatever else floats out at sea. You could even use it to make a ship. It's up to you. But if you lose these two rock pillars, things aren't going to be good. A way around it is you could just build water collectors around them. Or just turn building destruction off. But as you see this big massive platform, we look underneath. It is floating. It's not attached to the ground underneath. This is borderline viable. I'm usually a bit more saving with my resources. Mainly because this is quite expensive. If you use the custom foundation for this size, it will probably be close to the same cost. This would be more impressive. What you could do is, if you had enough cuts, is you could gut out an area of the side, say about the size of a houseboat, and then you'll have a nice parking bay for it. That might be a good idea. But I think I'm out of cuts. I could do it on this side. But this is a good design. The way I've done it, it's probably a little bit more expensive, but if you're swimming up to the island, you'll be able to get up from any point, because this acts like a step ladder. So yeah, the reason I made this video was more to show you the mechanic, and I'm going to be doing it another way. It's a little bit more complex, but I'm going to save it for another video. But the other one is to allow you to place it in more areas. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers.